Hello and welcome to the first in a series of training videos created for the IDS PAC community. That's you all. My name is Mark Atkinson, and in the next few slides I'll tell you who I am and what this is all about. So let's jump into it. First of all, that's me in kindergarten. I graduated from Duke in '86, a good bit ago, and then graduated from North Carolina Central School of Law in 2020, right in the beginning of the pandemic. I served in the Navy for a few years, and I was in consulting, worked for a consulting firm for 25 years at Kinley Horn. And when I graduated from law school, I did two things. I launched my own law firm. You can look at the website atkinson.legal. I'm a solo attorney, help with small firms, small businesses, and nonprofits. And I also started a nonprofit, which is called the Incubator for Legal Practice and Innovation, ILPI. And the mission purpose of this incubator, legal incubator, is to improve access to justice by helping entrepreneurial attorneys build financially sustainable practices. And if you're curious, you can explore more at the website innovationlegal.org. So that's a little bit about me. Now, what is this all about? What are these training videos all about? So we're going to produce 6 different sessions to support you in your practice and your work as a PAC attorney. These were created in partnership with IDS, specifically Carla Huff, and with the Incubator for Legal Practice and Innovation, and that would be me. So here are the 6 videos that we plan to produce, and this first one is the business owner's mindset. We'll talk more about what that is, what that mindset is, but you can see what the other 5 videos will be, and you can see they're all a business orientation. So I'm not going to tell you how to practice law. I'm going to try to give some suggestions and advice on how to run your business, which your law firm is a business. So the business owner's mindset, and you'll see these 3 principles. I'll probably be repeating them throughout the 6 videos, but I fundamentally believe you can do well and do good. It's a false belief to say, if I serve indigent clients, then I'll never make enough money to survive, or I have to be poor myself. I'm not saying you'll be fabulously wealthy, and I'm not saying it won't be hard work, but I do believe there are sustainable business models for mission-driven law practices such as yours. So that's the first principle. You can do well and do good. Second thing, stop thinking like a lawyer and start thinking like a business owner. You may have believed you didn't go to law school to become an entrepreneur, and that might be true to a point, but if you have your own law firm, if you're part of a small law practice, you are a business owner, whether you think you're an entrepreneur or not. You do own a business, and there are things that come with that. And at the end of the day, your law practice, your law firm is a business. So that's the second principle. Stop thinking like a lawyer and start thinking like a business owner. The third principle that I'll reinforce throughout these sessions is that your mission is more powerful when your practice is sustainable. When you're financially sustainable, you can do more and do more good. And so it would be a false belief to think that focusing on money means that you're not committed to your cause. You can't serve, the truth of it is you can't serve your clients if you're financially drowning. A strong business foundation amplifies your impact and enables you to do more good for more people. So those are the 3 principles that are going to be woven into these sessions that you'll hear me repeat in different ways. So this particular session, Business Owner's Mindset, is actually going to be a part A and a part B. Part A is around 20 minutes, and it's going to focus on the business owner's mindset in terms of the why are you doing what you're doing, and talking about core values, core purpose. There's a phrase, a made-up phrase called BHAG, made-up word, BHAG, B-H-A-G, big, hairy, audacious goal. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then there's some cautions, and then well, actually, right after this, I'll introduce you to a sort of foundational slide of how to think about your core values and core purpose where they fit. Then part B is the second half, and that's where we'll get more in the details of the business plan. And there's only so much you can do in 20 minutes, but the whole point is sort of introduce you to these principles and then give you some resources to go further with other material. So the pyramid, and this is where foundational to what you do, your mission, your core values, your core purpose, what's important to you, why you're doing what you're doing, that is foundational to everything you do. And you see at the top of that pyramid is your daily to-do list. So there's a link between what you do each day and your core values and core purpose. You may not think about that directly, but that's the reality. Your core ideology, mission, values, purpose undergird their foundation of everything. And from that, you can build your initial business plan of who you are and what you want to do. And then you might, whether these all apply to you or not, the principle applies. Maybe you have a strategic plan for the next 3 to 5 years and an annual plan and then quarterly or monthly plans. Then you have things you want to get done each day. But the point of that is that it's all based on your core values, core purpose, and your mission. So as a business owner, you get to set the vision. You can be a visionary. In fact, you are a visionary. And these principles, these points came from an article written in the Harvard Business Review, gosh, almost 30 years ago by Jim Collins and Jerry Poros, called Building Your Company's Vision. So I'm borrowing from their ideas, but the point they make is a well-conceived vision consists of 2 parts, a core ideology and an envisioned future. And the core ideology is made up of your values and your purpose. It defines what you stand for and why your firm exists. What you stand for and why your firm exists. And then the envisioned future is the notion of what you want to be, what you want to achieve, what do you want the future to look like. And those are all wrapped up together by that, as you can see by that graphic. So core values, let me talk a little bit about core values. They're the essential and enduring tenets of your business. They're your guiding principles, your North Star. And you, as the business owner, decide what your core values are. They need to reflect who you are. And I won't read this whole clip here, but you want to be honest with yourself and say, at the end of the day, I will not compromise these core values. They must stand the test of time. And even if you were penalized for holding those core values, would you still keep them? If you can honestly say yes to that, then those are your core values. And if you can't say yes to that, then they're not really your core values. So we'll talk more about, well, here's some examples of core values. And these are, as you'll quickly see, these are core values for bigger corporations. I think it's still helpful as an example. You see Nordstrom's, their core values. If you've ever shopped at a Nordstrom's, you can see how they operate, reflect these core values. They highly value their customer above all else. They care about their reputation. Those are parts of who a core value Nordstrom's is in their core. Philip Morris, one of their core values is right to freedom of choice. They value winning, beating others in a fair fight, in that Philip Morris isn't quite the dominant company that they used to be. Another interesting, Walt Disney, I thought their core values were interesting. And you can see how it's reflected in who they are and how they run their business. No cynicism, creativity, attention to detail. They preserve their brand, their Disney magic. They want to nurture wholesome American values. So these are just, and you can read through these on your own, but these are just some examples of some core values to give you a sense of what they might be. And the point is, you need to identify what are your North Star, your guiding principles for who you are, what you value above all else. So I mentioned core ideology is your core values and your core purpose. So here's some examples of core purpose, and that's your firm's reason for being. It captures the soul of your firm. Why do you exist? What's your reason for being? So 3M, they're a manufacturing, they create, I'm not sure what they do to create products, but their purpose is to solve unsolved problems innovatively. Let's see another one here. Mary Kay Cosmetics, to give unlimited opportunity to women. That's why they exist. They don't talk about it's not about their cosmetics. Their reason for being is to give opportunity to women. Walt Disney's purpose as a company is to make people happy. So these are some examples of what a core purpose is. The core purpose of the Incubator for Legal Practice and Innovation, the nonprofit that I started, our reason for being is to help entrepreneurial attorneys or innovative attorneys create financially sustainable practices to improve access to justice. So that's our core purpose. And so these are some examples here. So I talked about core ideology, core purpose, core values. The next part of this business owner's mindset, kind of the foundational, is like, what's your envisioned future? Do you have, and some of these may or may not, they may apply to your particular situation to different degrees, but do you have a goal for the future? And this is maybe a little bit hyperbolic or exaggerated, but do you have a big, hairy, audacious goal for the future? Maybe it's to retire at the age of 50, or maybe it's to serve so many clients over so many years, or to change the culture in your county in terms of access to justice. But this thinking about an envisioned future and having a vivid description about it will provide some guidance as to how you operate your firm and where you're heading. So here's an example. Henry Ford, back over 100 years ago, he had a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal, to give you, and this is a good example of a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. His goal was to democratize the automobile, and he had this description: I will build a motor car for the great multitude. It will be so low in price that no man making a good salary will be unable to own one and enjoy with his family the blessing of hours of pleasure. Will be unable to own one and enjoy with his family the blessings of hours of pleasure in God's great open spaces. So when I'm through, everyone will be able to own one. Everyone will have one. It will employ a large number of people. The automobile will be taken for granted. So over 100 years ago, that's Henry Ford's big, hairy, audacious goal. What might that be for your law firm? So a couple of cautions I want to just apply here. The examples I've given, okay, Henry Ford, Walt Disney, these big companies, yes, they're big, major multinational companies, but I believe that these principles still apply to you, to your solo or small law firm. So contextualize these concepts for your situation and give yourself time. Some of you have just started your own law firm. Some of you have been doing this maybe 3, 5, 10, 20 years. And maybe you're still uncovering who you are, what your core values are, and what you and who your company is. Give yourself time, and maybe the first place is to focus on discovering your core values and core purpose. So, what is your why? So that's fundamentally at the end of the day. That's what why are you doing what you're doing, and what is it that you're doing? To what end? To what purpose? So hopefully that's helpful and can boil down those big concepts and apply it to your particular situation where you are serving the clients that you're serving. So I want to mention this pyramid again. The whole point of talking about business owner's mindset, specifically with core values, core purpose, and your mission, is to think about that foundation of your firm, why you're doing what you're doing, and how you're going to do it. What kind of firm do you want to be? What's your reputation? But all that's based on your core values. And from that, you build up to how you operate on a day-to-day basis. So it is connected. It's not just pie in the sky, but it does set the direction of how your firm's going to operate and how you're going to operate, and how your clients interact with you. So you may see this pyramid again over time. So that's it for part A. Recommend you take a break, walk around, stretch. That's my dog there at a neighborhood park. His name is Bo. I'll see you next in part B, which we're going to talk about business plans. So I'll see you then.